what is important is a commitment that you will make, that you will change some of your habits based on the presentation. And I am going to be encouraging you. I'm going to be asking you. In fact, I'm going to be demanding of you that you make this commitment. And making the commitment is very important, but it is not sufficient. Because many persons make commitments and they break them. I think what will help you in terms of making the commitment is that it is very important that you have someone hold you accountable. Because without accountability, change is not going to be permanent. And it could be your spouse, it could be a financial advisor, but it is very important that you have this accountability, because things will get difficult, and without that accountability, you are not going to be able to make any change. There are some other things that are going to be important if you are going to, in fact, become financially independent. But I will cover these as we go through the presentations. So, which category are you in? What's your name?
Laura.
Laura. Okay, Laura. There are a number of categories that Americans fall in. 4 out of every 5 workers live paycheck to paycheck. More than half of households have less than $1,000 saved. 40% of families spend up to 50% of their income just servicing debt. 3 out of every 4 workers do not have enough saved for retirement. Those categories are not the categories, Laura, you want to be in. You want to be in the final category, the one in black. The others are in red, but this one is in black. Less than 1 in 10 American families are fully protected against the financial loss of the primary wage earner, are debt-free and financially independent. That is the category you want to be in. Now, based on the statistics I shared with you, a lot of American workers, a lot of American families are having problems. Why are so many people having financial challenges? I'm going to suggest 3 answers. Most persons today don't have a financial education. They are not financially literate. And if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So you need to understand financial strategy, financial products, so that you can make a better decision with your finances. The other thing is that you need to set goals, because goals are what you will measure your progress against. Most persons don't set goals, so they don't have any idea if they're making progress or they're actually going backwards. So you need to make goals, and then you need to implement my 3-step financial game plan. And we cover that in the presentation. And finally, I come back to the question of accountability and having a financial coach. Because most American families do not have these 3 important success factors, this results in serious challenges for many families. Okay, so let's talk about goals. Tony, do you have goals, financial goals?
I do.
You do. Laura?
Yes.
Okay, so that is commendable, that is progress, but many persons have goals, but the goals aren't helping them. So, goals should be based on what makes you happy and contented. Now that might sound surprising to you, because typically persons will tell you that financial goals shouldn't have anything to do with being happy and contented. But I am here to tell you differently, because what you do not want is to set financial goals, Laura, and then having achieved those goals, you are not happy, you are not content. What's the purpose? So, what makes you happy, what makes you contented, Laura, might not be what makes Tony happy and contented. And therefore, goals have to be tailored. What drives you is not what drives someone else, is not what drives Tony. So goals within that context need to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. That has been immortalized in the acronym SMART. S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for realistic, and T for time-bound. Now, I'm going to use an example so that you can get an idea. So, before I use that example though, goals should speak to three basic elements of your finances. One, income protection. Two, being debt-free. And three, financially independent. And I will expand on this more in my presentation. But let's take another example. Many persons have a goal of owning a home. I don't think there's an American who doesn't have that as a goal. And yet, many Americans do not own a home. So having the goal is necessary but not sufficient. So the question is, why is those goals not helping them? Tony, do you think I want to own a home? You think that's a good goal?
Certainly.
Certainly. Okay.
Everyone does.
Okay. Now, I'm giving you an example of how you can fine-tune that goal so it actually helps you. So rather than simply saying, I want to own a home, a better goal would be, I will save a down payment of $20,000 to buy a $200,000 home in 5 years. That's a roadmap. That's not even a goal. That is a roadmap that will take you there. So if you find that you're not saving the down payment, you know you're not making any progress. Right? And you have identified the type of home. You know, it's not $1 million home.
Right.
If you had $1 million home, it wouldn't be realistic. It wouldn't be achievable. Because most of us can't afford $1 million home. But this is an example of a goal which is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. In fact, when you have this goal, the first thing you know, when you know that you have to start saving, and you know what is your goal to save, and you know what types of homes you start to need to look for, and it is time-bound. You've given yourself a time frame. So if 5 years have passed, you know that you're in problems, and you have to do things differently. Okay, most Americans live in a debt cycle versus a cash cycle. Debt can sometimes be good, but for most Americans it is not good.
When is it good?
It is good when you incur debt to help you to earn more money, or for example to buy a home. Because most persons can't buy a home cash. So if you incur debt to buy a home, that is a good example. Credit card debt might not be so good an example depending on what you're using the credit card for. But a debt cycle is where your finances, Laura, control you. You spend more than you earn. You borrow to maintain a lifestyle of your neighbor or your friend at work. And you pay off one debt and accrue another. In fact, sometimes you borrow money from Peter to pay Paul, and it is a never-ending cycle. What you would like to be in is a cash cycle, where you have no debt, very little debt, you pay with cash instead of borrowing, and you have investments for your retirement. Now, the three challenges that most Americans face